Welcome to the Love Your Story Podcast. Have you heard of the yes and concept? It's rooted in improvisational theater, but for our purposes, we are using it as a valuable approach to life, a life navigation tool. Yes and does two primary things. The yes creates acceptance. The and pulls us into the present moment where we decide what to do next. Stay tuned for this quick chat that helps us move through hard things. It's another life tool. Stories are our lives in language. Welcome to the Love Your Story Podcast. I'm Lori Lee, and I'm excited for our future together of telling stories, evaluating our own stories, and lifting ourselves and others to greater places because of our control over our stories. This podcast is about empowerment and giving you, the listener, ideas to work with in making your stories work for you. Story power serves you best when you know how to use it. Yes, and. This is a building block. What it does is acknowledge the reality before you with the yes, and then the and is the jumping off point for what you'll do about it, how you'll build on what is. In the realm of improvisation, actors employ yes and to foster collaboration and creativity. When one actor introduces an idea or action, their scene partner accepts it with a yes, and then they add on new information. And the scene builds this way, one block or one yes at a time. The alternative to a yes is to fight what is. The first actor just introduced an embarrassing idea that I don't want to engage with. In the scene, I can't stop and demand that they change their contribution. I just get to keep the momentum building and decide what to do with it, how to build my way out of it if I want. For example, you're in an improv scene where the actor just admits to a crowd of people that you caught an STD in a salacious way, and now it's your turn to figure out how to turn the scene around or how to move on with it. What do you do with this twist in the plot? In improv, you simply have to make a choice what to do next. You can't stop off. You can't demand that they come up with something less personal. They can't demand that they change it. I mean, this is the fun part. You don't stop the show. You figure out how to play out the next scene. Okay, so let's apply this simple concept to real life. I have a sticky note on my desk that says, yes, and in big letters. And it reminds me that when something happens, when I'm struggling with something that's going on in my life, that sitting and wishing it was different or letting it cause continued anxiety in me while I wallow in it, these are completely ineffective. They're the equivalent of being stuck in a mud bog. Here's the hero of the story, stuck up to her thighs in a slimy mud bog. Let's just take today. I'm recording this in July. My lawn is dying in spots and it's frustrating. I acknowledge every day that I wake up and look at it that the crisp yellow grass shouldn't be there. I mean, I'm watering it, so this shouldn't be. But it is. So I can keep feeling the frustration and knowing it shouldn't be this way day after day, or I can say, yes, this is happening. My lawn is struggling. Basically, this is just all about acceptance. Whether it should be that way or not doesn't really matter. It is. So now comes the and. What will I do about this thing? Well, the things that come to my mind is I will water it more, and or I will change fertilizer. But see, right there, a decision has been made. I know that I'm doing all that I can. So I've said yes. Instead of living with the frustration every day of, oh my gosh, this shouldn't be this way, my grass shouldn't be yellow, I just get rid of that. I accept it. Yes, this is something we're dealing with. And I've given myself an action that I can take to start moving through it. So I accepted what is, and I've moved into watering more and adding some fertilizer. We'll see what happens next. Okay, another example. I'm working with a new group of women and we're doing a 21 Life Connection Challenges again. And we started out with almost 10 people. After the first week, so the first 7 challenges, there are only 4 that are checking in regularly. Now, I have a number of feelings about this. The first one is I know that this is how it goes. Every time it does this, it takes dedication to stick with the challenges. And most of the time, less than half of the group makes it through. I mean, this is a bummer, but it is what it is. It's not because the challenges are terribly hard, but people lose focus. They get busy, they put it off, and then they get behind, and then it feels like too much to pick up. I'm sure there's a variety of reasons, but it ends up that half, sometimes less than half, actually have the dedication to make it all the way through. So I know that this is going to happen, but I still feel bad for all the great women who started out that are going to miss out on what they could have gotten out of those challenges. I also feel frustration that discipline is so hard for many. I separate it from myself. I don't take it personal, but at the same time, 21 challenges are my creation, and it's frustrating that people aren't able to stick with it a little more. So the first thing that I need to do so that resentment doesn't build or frustration doesn't build is that I get to accept what is happening. And then I decide how to deal with it. So the acceptance that, yes, I know half the people are probably going to drop out. The and for me on this one is that I've accepted it. I've let go of that frustration. And the action I want to take is that I want to give all my best attention to coaching those who stick with it, to being present, to being there and putting everything into it that I can. There is nothing that I can do about those who, despite their best intentions, didn't stay with us. So I can let those emotions go and give my all without stress to the women who are stretching and sticking with it. So applying yes and to everyday life, it involves being open-minded about it. It involves being aware. It involves acceptance, and sometimes it involves adaptation. But instead of resisting or denying circumstances, that acceptance, just that acceptance, it's like a deep sigh of relief for me. When I accept something that I'm fighting against and just get to that point where I go, yes, this just is what it is. It's like a weight is lifted, a real weight. Rather than fixating on what cannot be changed, this tool gives us all a focus on what can be done in response. This proactive approach pulls us into the present. It promotes creativity and progress. And frankly, it relieves anxiety and stress around life events, which I think that might be one of the biggest benefits of this. I mean, yes, we get to move through it, but just that relief, acceptance takes a giant weight off our back because when we are in resistance, our minds are in turmoil. And oftentimes that turmoil is around things that we can't change. We know life can be complex, frustrating, disappointing, and those are the very places where we get stuck. Yes, and is where we embrace our power. So we're disappointed in something, just like I was referring back to the people that dropped out at the 21 challenges, or we're frustrated about something that we can't change. Like, these are the places in life, really. Maybe we just stick with, frustration is that place. Disappointment is that place where we get stuck, where we let our energy wallow. And this tool is us taking our power back. It is us stepping out of the mud bog toward intentional and even creative action. Okay, I love this mind tool. I love that it's so simple. I love that it's so powerful. Try it and you'll see how powerful it really is. I mean, once you try it and you feel that shift, you realize, oh, this is good stuff. So by embracing the present, accepting it with that yes affirmation, and then deciding what you can do or will do about it, you give up being impotent, you give up being stuck, and you instantly consider what you can or cannot do, and then you choose what you will do and you step forward. All right, thanks for being with me for this quick chat. Please share this episode so someone you know can learn this life tool also. And practice this tool yourself seriously. You don't realize how powerful it is until you start integrating it into your life. Once you do, everything shifts. Call it the Destress tool.